to ride. Classrooms in Paris, libraries in Milan. Where do you want to stand when the day dawns? Is it Dublin's green or Barcelona's sun? Pick your place, the journey's begun. The study abroad portal, yeah. Dreaming, living anywhere. The study abroad portal, yeah. Life's changing, skies are fair.
Thank you so much for your nice introduction, and good morning, good day, and good evening. I see you are from all over the world. Really nice to have such a great coverage. And today is April's 1st, so in this part where we are, it's Fool's Day. So hopefully there will be some funny things or slightly funny things about AI, but from scientific perspective, but hopefully no lies, because we have a tradition. You can only make a joke till 12 o'clock or 12 a.m. in the day, and after that it's serious business. So for us, it's 6 o'clock in the evening. Sorry, 7 o'clock already. So no big jokes, only small stuff. So I will try to give you an introduction where we are at this stage, what we have in terms of AI capabilities, and both on a serious note and whatnot. But speaking about mental health, we need to think how it all started. And I think a very significant push for digital tools was the pandemic period. Remember, we had instructions, sit in the room, do not go anywhere, only communications, digital, etc., etc. And COVID-19 like fundamentally altered the landscape of mental health along the world. And we had prolonged periods of isolation, uncertainty of the global crisis, also economical challenges, maybe even knew somebody with strong health issues, or maybe even lost some dear one. So lots of conditions for our mental health to deteriorate. And specifically, we are feeling effects even today. And according to a lot of recent studies, rates of anxiety, depression, stress-related disorders surge during and after the pandemics. And why this crisis has even appeared for the mental health? Because obviously we are not supposed to go to hospital in order to stop the disease spread even more. And a good chance appeared for the technology to bring its part, to offer some innovation. And traditional mental health services, most of you are very young, so maybe you have not visited yet, or hopefully never, a doctor of this sort, but it's like a consultation face to face, almost like a psychiatrist. So in order to get a medical consultation, you need to register for your hospital, and then you need a physical visit. So obviously in this period, all of these mostly has stopped. Some consultations happened over the phone, but really is not the same. And then we had stigma associated with seeking help, because psychological issue, mental health, maybe is uncool even in some audiences. You just usually, if you are depressed, usually you just respond, I'm okay, I'm okay. Somebody asks, are you okay? But you're just, I'm okay. Because we humans, sometimes we tend to hide it. And at least theoretically, innovative solutions, smart solutions, all of us have phones with us. Yeah. And if we can put something smart on the phone, and maybe they can help. So phones on their own, they are not smart. It's the AI capability that makes them smart. So we have seen an urgent need of AI-driven innovations. And why? Because we do need them. We need continuous support. We need to bridge the gap of accessibility, and AI, at least theoretically, as you will see, can provide not just detection, but ongoing support. And there were numerous ideas, from virtual therapy to real-time monitoring of how are you feeling, for example, through smartwatches even. Also personalized intervention, lots of papers, like boom of production of different applications, like something magical should happen. And if you note the title of the slide, key goals for AI in mental health, unfortunately, were not solved, and they are not yet solved. So I will very briefly speak about 3 issues that we have with AI currently, still standing, even with all the nice ChatGPTs and everything. So as you can probably guess by the pictures, personalization, precision, and trust. Why? Let's speak about personalization first. And we cannot, when we are speaking about AI, like for mental support and smart tools, there is no universal solution. Every one of us, we are human, and we are very different. So we cannot make a model that's just fine for everybody. Of course, AI models are trained on data sets. They tend to work fine with that data set, but we need innovation where AI can adapt to specifics of me as a human person. And this is an issue. Next, there is an issue of precision, because let's assume AI is able to detect emotional distress, depression, anxiety. And do we trust it? What is the accuracy, especially? Because if it's like 50%, then it's like you can toss a coin into the air and, hit and miss. Either you're depressed or you're not. So we need high accuracy. So on the brackets of some data sets, usually this is high. In real life, not necessarily. Finally, trust. Do we trust 99% of accuracy that AI has predicted that they have a depression? Or Maybe let's take the opposite case, the worst case. I am maybe really depressed, but the AI algorithm, my smart app, said, oh no, you are fine. So instead of going and seeking help, I will just continue to neglect it because I trust my app. But how can I be sure that I'm trusting this app? So these are the key big problems that unfortunately are not yet fully solved, but a lot of progress has been made. So I have tried to summarize that transition from 5 years before up to 2025. And if you would look at this table very carefully, it kind of looks very fancy, very state of the art, because we have all the trendy buzzwords here. Year 2020, first GPT models become popular. People tend to hear interesting things about ChatGPT style models. Yeah, it's 5 years already. Its time is flowing fast. But what GPT, or in other terms, transformer-based models, offered us, they offered a really nice opportunity to process and interpret, most importantly, interpret a lot of data with a possibility for early detection of mental health issues, like, for example, from medical records. Year after that, 21, a lot of research has appeared on multimodal AI. And what means multimodal? That we have started to process with acceptable accuracy rates information from different sources, meaning text, speech, images, and so on. And obviously, to analyze me, like a real doctor would do, it's not just my medical record that is needed. Also, he is looking at my face, the doctor is listening to my responses, and also sees how my eyes behave. Am I smiling, or am I actively speaking, and so on. But as you can see, AI was not able to do that, or at least not very reliable. Year 22, we had another big buzzword, explainable AI. Remember, I spoke about trust. So all these issues that I have mentioned very much related. So everyone started speaking about ethics, AI trust. How can we trust this AI diagnosis? Since it's really a true question, so researchers, a lot of research has appeared on this different approaches, but not yet solved. I mean, not in 2022, but today, not yet solved. Then a lot of edge AI and wearable integration appeared. And what I mean by edge AI, that AI is new chips appeared. AI was supposed to run on small computing devices associated with the different nodes of smart networks, supposedly new functionality for smartwatches, fitness trackers, etc. Lots of possibilities. Unfortunately, never moved out of the lab into real practical application, except some very niche products. Okay, last year, 24, self-supervised learning. Maybe you have heard this term. It's really fancy because the AI is supposed to train on the data without a lot of help from a human person. We just push more data, let's say from trackers, personal social media posts, wherever, and somehow AI should process it out. Again, not out of the lab yet. The idea is nice, but unfortunately for stuff like mental health processing is a really complex issue, so not there yet. Finally, this year, the big promise is personalization. Remember, one of the issues we had, one of the key 3 issues, personalized AI. So all the big labs No, the guys running the labs, of course, they want to make money. All the big AI firms, they're speaking, now the AI will be personalized. ChatGPT stuff will have more memory, will be more precise, will be able to adapt more to you. But I find it very unlikely that we will have a very good personalized mental health care even this year. So that leads a very big question. So if all these nice things, all these state of the art that I have just presented are not really working, so where are we now and what we can do with existing technology? So what we have here today, like you and me can access both as a consumer or as a researcher. We have strong progress first in those big models. So now we have GPT-4 plus, we have hybrid models. AI actually has seen rapid progress here. The models are much more powerful, and I'm pretty sure you have tried the reasoning functionality of ChatGPT. So now you can see how it is thinking to come up with your solution. So actually you can after the webinar, go to ChatGPT, try to pretend you are depressed, give some symptoms, and try asking him to diagnose you with thinking mode enabled and see what happens. And next interesting application, at least from the research perspective, is real-time emotional monitoring. And with face tracking, eye tracking, voice analysis, we can now try to predict what is my general emotion. You know, emotions are generally subjective. They are not the same with every person, because I can smile but feel sad inside. It's also possible, but now the technology actually is able to capture at least the stereotypic states. Am I smiling? What is these points doing in relation to my nose tip? How about these points of my eyes? What do I have here? And so on and so on. Then we have also strong approaches in unsupervised and self-supervised learning for crunching lots of data and trying to figure it out. Maybe there are some trends, because you know the big task of these specialized models is to find nuances, try to find changes in your behavior, in your speech, in your psychological data. And in order to find changes, we need lots of data. So AI is actually able to sift through all this data quite efficiently and I would say even speedy, because we will never have enough doctors for everyone. Yeah, I think we can agree here. So really nice. And just maybe to those of you who are not that well familiar, unsupervised learning means we just give whatever to AI and ask him, it's like, I do not know what data I'm giving you, figure it out if I have the depression, anxiety, or whatnot. Self-supervised basically allows AI to generate its own labels from the data, improving its ability to detect emotional distress without the need for extensive labeled data sets. So both of these kind of sound very fancy, but unfortunately, we have this. And I told you there's going to be jokes, April 1st or not, but it's actually a serious thing and not a lie. We don't have practical applications yet on we have lots of prototypes, but nothing that nothing in a fully smart AI that doctors can trust and use daily, or what you yourself can actually trust and use daily. We have lots of apps, tracking, etc., but they are not that reliable yet. And this leads to the other question. Are there any clinical AI tools in use today? So remember, I started the lecture with big promises. AI-powered virtual therapists with on-demand support. So now a small trivia while you're listening. All of you have phones. You can go to Google Play Store, Apple App Store, whatever you have, and check, or just ask ChatGPT for that matter. Does not really make a difference. So you will find some apps like WooBot, Help, Rejoin, for example. So WooBot is AI-powered conversational agent that delivers cognitive behavior therapy through chat. Yeah, AI can chat really good. Rejoin is an app-based digital therapeutic that uses a smartphone with some tasks. Next, we have another question, like a very serious issue. What about AI in depression management? Unfortunately, the only thing that we have is a little bit of collaboration, I don't know, some teamwork with the help of AI, some platforms like Ileos Health AI that can support the therapist, and you can maybe help him do the therapy. Then also we have Limbic, which supports provides clinical decision-making for health providers. But unfortunately for the consumer, nothing yet. Okay, next big category, autonomous AI systems for actually detecting something. So do we have some products here? What do you think? And if you would quickly Google, go through stores, ask ChatGPT, you will find some. But again, what we have as a product, very, very limited. So we have chatbots for crisis lines. You know, every country has psychology lines where you can just take your phone and call if you are feeling sad and so on. This and these are to prevent suicides and whatnot. And AI is able to transcribe these calls and flag high-risk individuals just by doing language processing. And big language models are nice. Then we have social media analysis, where we can try to detect sentiments from social media posts. You know, military or even security services, they use social media analysis, sentiment analysis for potential threats, like maybe somebody is planning some shooting or something other horrible thing. So same technology, same social media sentiment analysis can also be done to detect potential issues of mental disorders like emotional distress, because just by going through your Facebook posts, we can profile you somewhat, and at least in controlled conditions, research has shown that it's possible to achieve around 80% accuracy in predicting suicide risk, assuming person is really active on social media, just from his post. Unfortunately, there are still even more big challenges than the three core issues that we have started. First one is algorithmic bias. Even if we read that everything is digitized, everyone is digital and so on, there is still not enough data. And AI depends on data. AI depends on data on which they're trained. And even no matter how good it is, we will skip some countries, we will skip some cultures, maybe even some socioeconomic issues. Then we have data privacy and ethical use, because if we are speaking about mental health monitoring, obviously we want this to be very secure, because maybe if my boss knows that I have mental issues, they will fire me. Yeah. Finally, integration challenges, integration with clinical workflows. It's not easy because everything needs to be certified, everything needs to be trusted. Remember the issue? And seamless integration demands not only technical interoperability, but also robust training and actually data that you can trust. Integration. So addressing these challenges is really, really important. So maybe something can happen in year 23. So maybe 5 years from now, we will have something. So I tried to go through the latest forecasts, latest papers that promises at least try to predict what we will have. So you will see a lot of similar things that I have mentioned in the beginning of our webinar. So first, supposedly adaptive real-time therapeutic feedback. Then cross-disciplinary collaborations where AI will collaborate with different specialists. Then we will have maybe autonomous systems that will combine personalized healthcare with ability to assess mental health, not only on individual level, but for the whole institution. Like we will be able to assess how this university is feeling, is healthy feeling, or maybe everyone just depressed. So these are the big predictions for year 23. Well, we will see. We will see. But AI is really, really progressing very fast. And with that in mind, I would now like to introduce another presenter who will do a more practical presentation. He will hopefully prove that there are some existing tools that can actually be helpful, and hopefully some diagnosis will be done, maybe on his own voice, just so we will see maybe he has some depression symptoms, or maybe not, maybe he is happy, but AI is not sitting, AI is running, and running in really rapid pace. So any improvement that we have today is likely to be tenfold next year. And I really have good hopes. Even if we are not there yet, we are progressing really, really nice. So thank you. Now I will give the floor to Musyyab, so he can hopefully present something more down to earth. So thank you all.
Musyyab, yes, you have the microphone off.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to everyone who are here and listening to the presentation. My name is Musyyab Yousufi. I am a researcher working in Lithuania, Kaunas University. My professor is Rytis Maskeliūnas. The topic I am working on is methods for predicting early dementia using AI based on the analysis of multimodal depression data. Is the professor have introduced the multimodal concept. I will give a fast introduction to the data, how the computers learns the data, how the computers see the word and observe the data. So the first question is how the computers see the data, how the computers feel the word. So they see it through sensors, different type of sensors. So the sensors are like translators. They can detect sound, they can detect light, they can detect touch or movement, and then convert those into signals. So here is some example of signals. For example, we have a microphone signal, a strain gauge sensor which can detect pressure, a thermocouple which can um, detect the physical quantity of heat, and then we have a light sensor which is a photodiode or a phototransistor. The photodiodes and phototransistors, we can see them everywhere, like in our smartphone cameras. They have a lot of these, like in millions of these sensors, which can detect the intensity of different lights in their brains, and then they can show us the light. So the signals that we can detect, they can be explained by mathematical ways. And here we have two type of signals, which is a discrete signal and a continuous signal. The discrete signals are usually recorded like in time intervals. For example, after every 1 second, we get some physical quantity. The next slides presents two graphs. In the first graph, we can see there is a temperature sensor which is recording temperature for 24 hours. So we can see that after 10 a.m. there is higher temperature because the temperature sensor is detecting it. In the second graph, we can see the light intensity, where I have introduced some simulation of the clouds. So similarly, we have a microphone which can detect the audio data. So here I have described a few feelings, emotions of human, which are recorded through a microphone. You can see that these are natural sound, the calm sound, happy sound, or sad sound. These are recorded. These emotions can be classified by computers. But for a computer to make him understand the direct voice, it's a bit tricky. So we transform the data into another language which is more understandable to a computer. So the first step is we transform it to a frequency domain where we can analyze it. The computer can process it really fast. We don't need too much processing power for that. And also we can interpret or analyze the data. So here we have a neutral male voice, and we can see that we have plotted a FFT, or a frequency Fourier frequency transform, which can show us which frequencies are present in the data. So if we can see from the 0 hertz up to 1000 hertz, or somewhat that, we have a really high range of frequencies. And after that, the frequencies declines because the human voice doesn't have too much frequencies. Similarly, we can transform these into the short time Fourier transforms. So what we do, we can slice the audio, and we make small portions, like one second of the audio data, and then we convert them into the spectrogram. So the spectrogram is a 3D image which can show us the short duration burst of an audio data, and that we can give to a computer, and a computer can read the image. He can learn from at what time, what was the frequencies, at what time, what was the amplitude of the data. In the previous slide, as we can see, in a periodogram, we only have the frequency and the magnitude. We cannot identify the time because the time axis is lost in the periodogram. So we move to the spectrogram. So here we have a spectrogram example of in audio data. Similarly, we can generate multiple such um, uh, spectrograms. We have this one is an STFT spectrogram. Then we have a MEL spectrogram. Then we have an MFCC spectrogram. So these different type of spectrograms, these can be used in feed to a computer or a machine learning or AI model to learn from the data. So coming back to my topic. So my topic is related to anxiety, depression, and predicting early dementia. So early dementia, because dementia is the last stage of memory loss. Before that, we have Alzheimer's, which is somehow connected to dementia. So first of all, anxiety, it's I think everybody know it's the feeling of worriness the depression is the persistent sadness or loss of interest. So anxiety and depression, they are more connected to each other. But if we have anxiety and depression for a prolonged time, then it can convert to or transform to MCI, which is a moderate or severe condition. So the MCI have two types, aministic and non-aministic, which means like they can have a memory loss or they cannot have a memory loss. And these MCI can, if it's prolonged, then it can convert to dementia or Alzheimer or Parkinson or any other type of disease. So predicting dementia at early stage, it's better to predict depression or anxiety at early stages. So if we can predict anxiety or depression, then we can easily predict dementia also. So here is a table which can say which can describe the anxiety, depression, MCI, Alzheimer, and dementia. So we can see that anxiety here is reversible, the depression is reversible, MCI, if it's treated on time, it's reversible, but beyond the stage, it's not reversible. So it's better to be diagnosed and treated before the MCI stage. So the next thing I want to explain is the machine learning and deep learning and artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is the broader term. The machine learning is the subset of the AI, which basically uses machine learning algorithms to predict. But to machine learning algorithm, we have to give him the machine learning algorithm the data in the form of features. That could be like the handcrafted features. The deep learning is a subset of machine learning, which is a more advanced platform, and within there we can give it more data, and it can predict us or classify something based on the higher level of features. So we don't need any form of hand-crafted data. This is the table which can be used to understand the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, their scope, their definition, the feature engineering. So we can see in artificial intelligence, because it's rule-based, so we don't need any type of feature engineering. In machine learning, we have to manually extract the features. And deep learning, it automatically extract the features from the data. So here is the example of the algorithm types, the training time. So we can see that machine learning is faster, deep learning is slower, but deep learning is more good promising in terms of results. Here are some examples which we can see that for what domains we can use it. So then the next thing I would like to explain that why we prefer the deep learning over machine learning, that is the data. So machine learning, it has more advanced models, first of all, and the second thing is it can work with the unstructured data. It can work with multimodal data, such like images, audio, and video. Currently, I'm working with the three types of data, which is the EEG data, the other is the audio data, and the clinical data, which is acquired by the doctors who has patients and normal people, and they can perform some type of theoretical test, some question answer or story test, and then they grade every patient or every person based upon that test. So in the next slides, I will be going through two different types of scenarios. So first of all, we will be discussing the EEG data in then the audio data set. So the feature extraction for emotion recognition. For emotion analysis, if we use the machine learning, then this is a slide which can show us which type of features we would need to extract from the data. This slide shows us the features extracted for the deep learning methods. So these are the like we can give it the raw audio form, but it will take more time and more computationally costly. Then we can have the spectrograms, such we have seen the STFT spectrograms or the long MEL spectrograms. We can have the MFCC data, which is used for the audio classification, or chroma data, which have the tonal information or CQT features. I will explain here the research methodology. What is the process which we can go through for the classification or classification of the data. So first of all, we have to do the data analysis. The data analysis include like identifying what type of data I have, how many genders like there are in the what gender are in the data. In every specific data, for example, some data sets have only one type of gender. Then what's are the emotion or the conditions or the classes, how many files I have, what is the clinical data, or does it have any type of metadata, what is the data distribution, what is the data structure, and then in what format I have different data. Because if you have multiple data sets, then every data set will have a different format. Then there is a pre-processing step. So in EEG data, we usually we will see that we have applied a number of filters, then we have corrected them through baseline correction and steps. And then we can see like if we have one class which is less in quantity or numbers, then we can resample it or augment the data. So here is an example of data analysis where we can see we have 5 classes of data, where one data set have only females and the other data set only have males, while the other data set have both of the data. So for the data analysis, we have to know how many files which data set is providing us. Then we can see in this table, in this plot, that it can show us the gender data based on the number of files we have for each emotion. So this type of data is important for training a machine, so that you can later identify what is the accuracy of my model for identifying different genders. Then here is a heat map which can show the files and the emotions that are in the data set and the number of the files. Then you can also have an Excel sheet where you can exactly um, um, find all the information which can be useful for training your model. Uh, Here is the data analysis that we have done for the EEG data. So understanding in EEG data, what type of frequencies do I have here in the plot, we can see that we have 4 bands of frequencies that are considered here. Then we can plot them and we can see them if we have the specific frequencies that we needed or not, we don't have. There is a practical plot of an EEG data where we can see in EEG plot. Then the EEG plot is a band pass filter from 0.5 to 45 hertz. Then we have removed the power line interference, which is from 50 hertz to 45 hertz. So we can see that from original signal, which was really noisy, we can have a clean signal. Then the signal is further cleaned, so we can remove the edges. Then we apply a fade in, fade out, and then normalize the data so that every file have every signal have a similar scale. Here is also a data analysis where we can see that the raw EEG have these 50 hertz of 50 hertz of peak. Then we apply a band pass filter which removes some of the 50 hertz noise, but still we have there's some noise. Then we apply a notch filter which almost removes the noise or the electrical artifacts from the data. So this is a PSD or power spectral density graph, which we can see that is good for analysis at what type of frequencies we have. This is a periodogram. So we are interested in 10 hertz of frequency signal. So here it shows that we have the frequencies here. This is also a periodogram. We can see for EEG, we can see that we have high frequencies at 10 hertz after the pre-processing. and we have no noise or frequencies after the 45 hertz. So this is the spectrogram of a clean signal. Here we can see a cleaner representation of raw EEG and pre-processed EEG data. The next thing I would like to introduce is the ICA, or independent component analysis. This is a good step for removing artifacts. So what is ICA? For example, if we have two types of sounds, or two people and two sensors which are recording the audio, we can separate them by using ICA. So we have two speakers and we have two recording devices, and we can use ICA to separate the device. So this is helpful in understanding the EEG separation. So in EEG we have multiple sensors which are placed on a human head, and EEG have noises of different types. So we can scan the ICA components from different electrodes, and then we can clean them. So here is an example. We can see that the purple lines which are here, we can be easily seen in the graph. These are the artifacts which are almost present in every signal. So the green shows the clean signal, which is the cleaned from the artifacts using the ICA. The next step which we have seen was the data augmentation or resampling. So the data augmentation is, if you have less number of data, you can introduce uh, some minor shifts or stretches or noises to the data. So you can have more data. If we can see the butterfly example, there is one image of butterfly, then the original image is detextured. We remove the texture, we decolorize it, we remove the, we enhance the edges, we silent make it rotate the image, and we have further like more versions of the same data. So this is helpful in understanding. For understanding, the model can have more data. He can understand from the data more. He will have more variation of the data. The same example we can see is an audio signal. Where we have an original audio signal, and then we have added a noise to the original audio signal. So the augmentation should be taken carefully, because if we augment the data too much or introduce too much noise or decolorize or some type of extra augmentation, then we will lose the information which is the accurate one. Here is an example of the sampling. So here we can see I have 8 emotions here, but some of the emotions I have more files, for some of the emotions I have less files. So we resample the data so that every emotion have same number of files. So resampling is different than augmentation and resampling. We just copy the same files to make the numbers correct. Next here is the feature extraction, as we have seen above. We have extracted features for our audio data and EEG data. This is our model that we have used for to make an evaluation study for our data for EEG data and audio data. The next, we used our data, EEG data and audio data, and converted it into spectrograms, feed it into a deep learning model, then extracted the features and concatenated the feature and used those features for classification. These are the results of our classification, which are good. Then these are the classification results of another work, where we can see the different emotions which are classified really well. So next I will present some demonstration of what we have achieved so far. I think I have to.
Maybe you need to share the other screen. Oh, now it works. Thanks.
Yeah. So here we have, I will demonstrate two demonstrations. The first demonstration, we have an analysis where we can perform on the data in the static data. So run on the analysis and it shows that the RU have depression because it resembles more like depression. But if we run it second time and let's see what this time it shows, if it shows any signs of depression or not in this data. So we will record it for 10 seconds and then we will see the results. So this is the second. So as we can see that this records the audio, and then based on the recording, it make its spectrograms and its MEL spectrogram and MFCC and do the analysis based on the recording. So as we can see here, sometimes it shows depressed because if it feels any signs of the depression in the data that which it has learned from the previous data, it will show it's depressed. And if it sees that is there are no signs of depression from the spectrogram, then it will predict that there is no depression. So I will back to the presentation, and thank you so much for everyone for having patience and attention for listening.
I was unable to unmute myself, but just as last time, I'm unable to hear you now. Still the same issue. So maybe to save the time, do you think you could write the question and I would answer if everyone can hear me? So I see the question regarding continuation of master's level in AI. So the thing is that when it comes to the master's degree, you studied before, so as we have to basically take your previous education into consideration first. So it really depends on the program you studied, on your background. If the field is completely off the AI, we could still double check if you have, let's say, relevant experience with programming, artificial intelligence. However, like it would really depend on your working experience here, maybe additional, courses you've completed, because right now it's very hard to tell, which, what did you study completely. But we can definitely take a look and maybe we could consider your case. Oh, now I can hear you. So the thing is that the website that is being shared during this meeting, like for the admissions, you can find the program content detailed, like subject by subject you would be studying for each semester, whether it's bachelor's or master's program. So overall, when it comes to bachelor's programs, at the beginning you would still study general subjects, and then later on it goes into AI. For masters, it generally focuses on AI and also includes research project, meaning that you basically prepare, like analyze your research, and then the final semester would be the thesis defense. So students at our university, they have a possibility to join research team, like to work together with the professors. It really depends on your experience and background. So basically it usually happens during your studies when you come to study here. Once you start working with the professors for your like topic, let's say, or simply subjects, if you have like, knowledge already, like experience, you can basically discuss with the professors to work on the research together. We do. So at our university, we have partial or full tuition fee waivers for students with high grades. So meaning that if your previous results are high and if you show strong motivation for studies at KTU, you could be considered for full tuition fee waiver. The requirement applies basically if your CGPA is above 80%, you could be considered for full tuition fee waiver. However, like it works as a competition, meaning that the higher grades you have, the better chances you have to study for free as well. And when it comes to the visa, basically students who come to Lithuania, they have to acquire residence permit prior they come to Lithuania, and we do assist on that. While students still have to do that individually, apply through specific centers that are assigned for particular countries. We still prepare the documents, invitation letter, basically everything that is needed. And we also guide about the rest of the documents to make sure that you submit everything as it should be. Yeah, so when it comes to bachelor's degree studies, we first of all evaluate your high school education and that depends on the country you're coming from. So basically, in simple terms, we require the same documents you would be submitting to the university in the country you graduated from. So let's say if you graduated and you had high school certificate and you had state examination that is required in order to be eligible for university admission, we would ask the same documents here as well. We do not have our specific requirements. Instead, we follow your country's requirements. When it comes to master's, we would need your bachelor's degree certificate and transcript of record or diploma supplement, depending on the country you're coming from. And basically, English level for bachelor should be B2 level, while for master's it should be C1. And CGPA for both cases would be 60% or higher. Hope so too. Yeah, definitely that would be the way. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, definitely. So first of all, when it comes to working during studies, students can work whether they do bachelor's or master's. For bachelor's, they can work part-time. For master's, they can work full-time. And when it comes to the university, first of all, we do cooperate a lot with private companies and state institutions here to make sure that students get the best opportunities for their career. So one of the programs that we have is KTU Wanted, where basically students have the access to the platform and they can see up-to-date internships available for our students, which we believe that it gives them an easier start later on for jobs as well, because you make connections, you gain experience in the field, in the country here, and then many companies choose to hire their interns too. And then overall, just to mention, After the graduation, students in Lithuania, they can stay in Lithuania for up to 1.5 years. So generally that's quite a lot of time to find a job, let's decide what you want to do for the future. Thank you as well. Bye.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sit back, relax, the world is wide. Close your eyes, take a mental ride. Classrooms in Paris, libraries in Milan. Where do you want to stand when the day dawns? Is it Dublin's green or Barcelona's sun? Pick your place, the journey's begun. The study of reporter, yeah. Dreaming, living anywhere. The study of